Hello everyone, this is Latasha Blanton from the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. And you're going to have the opportunity to travel with Phil Scott to
sunny South Africa. You guys are going to have the opportunity to come to Johannesburg, and you guys are going to be coming to Durban. And we're going to set it up perfectly. It's going to be like a luxury experience for you guys. At the same time, you're going to be getting some culture. And of course, you're going to get an opportunity to talk to Phil, hang out with Phil, and get his views on Africa and South Africa.
You're also going to get an opportunity to explore the lifestyles here that are available in South Africa. And we're going to do all that for you in an amazing 10 days. We do hope that you go to the website and book, because we do look forward to seeing you here.
Absolutely. Our website is therealsouthafrica.com. Go there, scroll down. You'll see a picture of Phil, and just go ahead and book there. So we'll see you here in what we like to call sunny South Africa.
French troops have begun leaving Niger, and this is supposed to be good news in some facets, and it's bad news in some facets. And you know, French troops have been in Niger and a better part of West Africa for a really long time. Now, the reason on paper is they say that they are helping create political stability. They're helping fight jihadis. They're helping restore peace and security in the region. But when you ask the people, they say, no, we actually don't see the value of French troops being in our country, and that's why we're excited about them exiting.
I think for many, not just in Niger, but across the region, there is a sense of which they recognize the difficulties that are likely to come up with the departure of French troops, but at the same time, they do point out that with the presence of French troops, the security didn't get better. So at the end of the day, what have they really gained in terms of the partnership with France? And perhaps this is an opportunity for local and regional security and political elites to finally think very deeply, not just about the security situation, but more broadly about building a proper state that can secure lives and bring more prosperity to people.
Hello there, how are you doing? Welcome to another episode of our conversations. My name is Ondiro Oganga. I'm a business journalist by profession and a digital content creator. I love coming on here and having conversations with you guys about Black people, Africans, our empowerment, and how we can rise up and take our rightful place at the global stage. You can always connect with me on social media at Ondiro Oganga across all digital platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Let's get to the gist of the conversation today. There has been an increase of, coups and political instability in Africa, and most recently, rather, the Western Sahel. Now, when we break it down, we realize that France and America and other Western powers have their troops in West Africa. You know, when you look at a country like America, it has the largest drone base on the African continent in Niger. France has always maintained that it is helping fight for, security and fight jihadis and trying to keep these people safe. But the reality of the matter is there's no safety, there's no security, there's no political stability, there's no economic growth. So when you ask the locals, do you see a benefit of these people being here? They'll tell you no. They really do not see the benefit of these people being here. And then when you ask all these Western forces, if the people do not see a sense of you being in their country, why are you hell-bent on staying there? And they'll tell you, oh, no, we're doing a great job. If it wasn't for us, really, what you're trying to mask is the fact that your forces are there to protect your own personal interests. Your own personal interest. That is the reason why you maintain having military presence in these African countries, yet you make little to no contribution in their peace and security efforts. And when the French troops began leaving Niger, there were a lot of talks from pundits in the West that we are bound to see a catastrophe, security will deteriorate, but the people of Niger are like, good riddance. We don't want you here. And that should tell you a lot. That should tell you that Africans are beginning to take back their power, take back their country, and say, if you're here, we want to see the fruits of your presence. And if your presence in our own homeland does not benefit us, then adios, toodles, peace out. There's no place for you here.
Well, the answer to the question is that many Nigerians simply do not believe any longer that the presence of French troops necessarily contributes to a better security in their country. You know, there's been a lot of in the last couple of years, but more so under President Bazoum, who stepped up security relations with the West, with France in particular. There's been many concerns in Niger that the presence of French troops on their soil since last year when French troops withdrew from neighboring Mali, many Nigerians simply saw that as a compromise on their sovereignty, and the fact that it's, of course, the relationship, dates all the way back to the colonial era. Many of them simply saw it as too bound up in many elements of an unequal partnership that they simply do not want any more of. For one thing, it's very hard to speak for the average person in Niger. It's a large country. People have very many different views, some of which most of which are nuanced, some of which seem like they're contradictory, but when you understand the politics there, and many would reject the premise of the question and see it really as a false binary, because they would argue that there are a bunch of structural conditions that were created by the colonial legacy between France and Niger that have exposed themselves in the security crisis in Niger and the neighboring region. So for many folks, not just in Niamey, but broadly across the country, they see the two things as linked. So they don't quite see it as an either-or proposition of do you want the French presence or do you want the jihadists? They think the two are very much linked in a variety of ways, some of which, can be contested, but some of which definitely have their, historical underpinnings. Well, I should point out that French troops are still in Chad, which is in the Sahel. There's no discussion of what will come next. There as well, there's no telling what will happen there. But more to the question you're asking, I think for many, not just in Niger but across the region, there is a sense of which they recognize the difficulties that are likely to come up with the departure of French troops, but at the same time, they do point out that with the presence of French troops, the security didn't get better. So at the end of the day, what have they really gained in terms of the partnership with France? And perhaps this is an opportunity for local and regional security and political elites to finally think very deeply, not just about the security situation, but more broadly about building a proper state that can secure lives and bring more prosperity to people.
Well, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Comment down below what your thoughts are on the people of Niger just being excited that French troops are leaving their country despite threats that it's not good for their peace and security. I'll see you again next time.